Welcome to Wild Woman Journaling Day 5. I'm on a roll, so I'm just going to keep going and hopefully I'll get through all of this without running out of space on my camera. Today's deep dive is about my own path to forgiveness. Several years ago, I read an article in a magazine about a woman who wrote letters of gratitude to people who were important in her life on her milestone birthday. That idea stayed with me, and the year I turned 50, I decided that I was going to write 50 letters to 50 people, I call it 50 for 50, 50 people who had an impact on my life, both the good and the bad. I wrote to the living and the dead. I wrote to my dead parents and sister, to my siblings, nieces and nephews, my stepdaughter, old friends, and past teachers. A letter a week. I started off writing these letters by hand because I wanted those receiving to truly feel that these letters came from my heart. But after about 2 weeks, I found I had so much more to say than my cramping hand would allow, or the cost of sending out letters was getting ridiculous, so I switched to typed letters. It was an amazing journey. I wept so many tears that year. Some of the tears were of gratitude, but the most important ones and the most important letters were to the people I felt I needed to make amends to, asking for forgiveness for things I'd done that I wasn't proud of and had held on to my entire life. I sent the letters off one by one, never sure whether I'd hear back. At first I wondered if I was asking that person for forgiveness, if it would matter if I didn't hear back from them. But I found it didn't matter if I received a reply or their blessing of forgiveness. The very act of asking for forgiveness, because it was heartfelt, allowed me to forgive and start healing. And the funny thing about my memories, these things that had given me such shame for 40 and more years, they were very often things that these friends and family couldn't even remember. Let me tell you though, an entire year of self-examination, gratitude, and forgiveness is really hard work. What impacted me the most was that I finally wrote those shameful memories down and brought them up to the light. I brought up to the light the wounds that had festered in me for so long. By bringing these memories to the surface and shining a light on them, the shame around them disintegrated and left me, and my heart felt so pure and innocent again. This, my friends, is the power of the written word, the power of the journal. The year-long journey of forgiveness was really the beginning of my commitment to journaling. Maybe I'm alone in this, and maybe you've never known the pleasure of writing letters, but I grew up in the time before computers and emails even. And even inexpensive long-distance calling didn't really exist. Ooh. Oh, wow, I suddenly feel very old. I doubt I've written more than a handful of letters since this time, and only to old folks, older than me, who are still alive. But not having all of the technologies I take for granted now, I realize how blessed I was that I've been that I've had to learn to communicate by letter. That delicious feeling of getting a letter in the mail from my aunt who was far away in England, or even corresponding with my dad who spent 6 months baking for a mining camp in northeastern British Columbia. It was a beautiful way to get to know them. Writing letters allows us to share our deepest feelings when penning a letter, rather than when texting a message or sending an email. I'm going into such detail specifically about letters because if you struggle in your journal, you may try writing a forgiveness journal entry in the form of a letter and write it to the person you're forgiving, alive or dead. It doesn't matter whether you send it. You can burn it if you wish. If you're forgiving yourself, write to the girl or woman when the regret happened, at that time of your life when the regret happened. Allow your life experience to lead you now. You're no longer that person. So write to her from your wisdom and understanding of how those things could have happened. Dissociating yourself from the person you were may help to find forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting, it's about unlocking yourself from the hurt you've been chained to. The forgiveness is for your peace, far more than it is for the person you've forgiven. I'll never forget Oprah's story of a huge aha moment she had about a woman she saw whom she'd never been able to forgive. This woman, who had such power over Oprah's psyche, was merrily chatting across the street with her companion, oblivious, while Oprah seethed. Then she realized, hey, she's gone on living her life as if nothing ever happened. And if she's able to live her life without what she did dragging her down, why am I still stuck? And in that moment, she was able to forgive. If you don't allow yourself to forgive the people that done you wrong, you're leaving pieces of yourself behind with them. Take your pieces back by forgiving and letting go. This, of course, also goes for forgiving yourself for things you've done that you've been holding on to. Like I said, most of the people who I wrote to asking for forgiveness in my year of 50 for 50 letter writing either didn't remember what I spoke of or had let it go long ago. So I hope you'll find your voice and allow yourself to forgive others or yourself. Even if you burn the letters or journal entries you write, the act of letting go is a phenomenal gift only you can give to yourself. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or thoughts, I'm here. Share your thoughts about forgiveness, and you may help others to forgive too. Type hashtag day 5 in your post. Again, no spaces, so I can find your post. Thank you very much. See you next time.